everyone, so I'm back with another paranormal vlog. Before I get into that though, there's a couple of things I wanted to show you that I recently got from an antiques shop in, I'm sorry, that's my cat's ear. He's just kind of sitting in front of my phone. I went to an antiques shop recently. I went to Whitstable with my parents for Father's Day. Whitstable is a small kind of seaside town in Kent in England. It's famous for oysters and kind of local art and everything. So I came across an antiques shop there, and while I was in there I found a huge box of old photos and postcards and everything. So I had a really good time kind of sorting through them, and I got about seven pictures that I just wanted to share with you really quick. I think I found a new hobby, by the way, because I loved these. I loved going through all the photos and like picking out my favourites. My boyfriend thinks they're really creepy. So do my parents, but they help me pick like the best ones out. So I'm currently looking for like an old antique box or a photo album to store them all in. So the first one I want to show you is the first one I picked up. It's even come in this really old, torn up paper frame, which made it even more appealing to me. Oh my god. I'm sorry, my cat was licking his paws. I hope you didn't hear that because that was gross. So it's a picture of this young girl. I hope you can see, by the way, I'm sorry. It's a young girl in like this old dilapidated garden of sorts, with a pram with like a small doll inside. But she looks really happy. I don't see how people can think this is creepy. The next one is probably my favourite. It's a small postcard, and on the front, to show this quickly, I hope this is in focus, it's just this man in front of like this cool kind of thatched roof cottage, and yeah, he seems quite happy too. But yeah, these are the ones that I was drawn to. There was so many of them, and 7 of them cost me like £4. I think I paid £4 for them all, and I have to go back and get some more. So the next one, my mum actually picked out. It's like another postcard. It's a bit bent, and there's some like stamps still left. But it's this lovely looking lady with a really cool hairdo. I like her. So the next one, a few of them have some writing on the back, which is cool. So this one's postcard, and it just says, "Hope you like the photo." Dated 1932. Not in the same handwriting though, so obviously someone's obviously dated it afterwards. There's no address on it or anything, so it must have just been given. So this bit here is actually like, looks like it's been written in biro. But so yeah, it's just like, I love the expression on this little boy's face. It's like he's kind of amused and also bewildered. But they look quite happy. I like the shoes. Okay, I'm sorry if you hear the squeaking. I've tried to record this video a couple of times before, and I'm looking after my parents' dog, and he's just decided to break out the squeaky toys just as I'm filming. I've been home for a little while, he didn't want to play, and now he does. Probably because I started talking to myself. Okay, so the next postcard has writing on the back as well. It says, "Many happy returns of the day," and it's dated the 8th of December 1917, and so that was actually written by someone on that day because it's in the same pen and style handwriting. And yeah, it's just this, you know, a family of 4 Again, with the little boy's expression, he looks really angry, like probably angry about the fact he has to put his arm around his sister, or which I'm assuming is his sister. He's like, he's probably wondering why he has to wear those shorts. Anyway, okay. So these next two are like, there must be some kind of business card. This one on the back says G.E. Boxhall, photographic artist, Old Kent Road, south of England, for the Parisian School of Photography. And it has an address and everything. It doesn't have a date on it or anything. There's a name on the back, Millie Romley, I think. Millie Romney, something like that. So I don't know if this lady on the front of the card is Millie or if someone just wrote a name down. But I really like her top. And most of these people aren't smiling in photos. Which reminds me of a little scene in the film A Million Ways to Die in the West. If you haven't seen that, go see it. It's hilarious. But, you know, they talk about how people don't smile in old-fashioned photos. Anyway, you'll get it if you've seen it. But yeah, it just reminds me of that so much. Okay, and then the last one is, you know, the same kind of card. It's the same size, so it must be another business card. So it's Allen and Co, artists and photographers for the Camberwell Schools of Photography. Every description of outdoor photography. So that's cool. There's no name on this one or anything. So, and on the front is this nice looking young man. Very well dressed, nicely posed. So yeah, so that's my bunch of photos. I have like a picture of them up on my Instagram. There was another picture I took in the antique shop of like two small creepy plastic dolls in a cabinet, which totally reminded me of Graveyard Girl. If you haven't seen her videos before, go watch, because she collects like oddities and especially like old dolls, and it just really reminded me of her. So I had to take a picture of them. Anyway, that's the photos done. So now I'm going to get on to the paranormal stories. There's just a few incidents surrounding my old pet cat that I had when I was young and obviously still living at home. We had a cat called Belle, and we got her when I was 4 from kind of a local pet shop. Looking back on it, I think the pet shop was a bit suspect, and I'm pretty sure that our cat Belle, she had kind of some feral kind of tendencies, or maybe one of her parents was feral. Don't know where this pet shop got kittens from. It just seems a bit, I don't know, a bit suspicious or something, but you know, it was back in the day. Anyway, so yeah, we called her Belle. Me and my sister named her after Beauty and the Beast character, because that was our favourite film at the time. She was pure white. She had a little pink nose. She was really cute. She was friendly on and off. Me and her had a really good connection. I was the one whose lap she'd sit on all the time, and I was the one who she'd let me stroke her properly. Like with strangers, you could only really touch her head, unless and then she like hissed at you if you tried to give her like a proper stroke. For some reason, she kind of liked me, and she let me stroke her, and you know, she played fetch with like little rolled up tinfoil balls and stuff. So yeah, she really was like my best friend. If that sounds a bit sad, I'm sorry. But yeah, unfortunately she died when I was 17. So I was still living at home at that time. She died just because she was very old. You know, the day before she just did not look right, so my mum was like, okay, I'll take her to the vets the next day. And unfortunately got to the vets and she had cancer kind of in multiple places, and it wouldn't have been fair just to let her carry on because she was very old and she went downhill very quickly, which in a way was a good thing because she was very active and healthy and fine up until then, even though she survived like a hit and run car accident like the year before, so I don't know if that set off anything, but she recovered really quick from that, when I'm thinking about it, by the way. Anyway, so the day my mum had to take her to the vets, unfortunately I had to be in uni. I think it was like a tutorial or a lecture or something. I had to be there, which was bad because I kind of said my goodbyes the night before, because she'd stayed in all day, which was really rare for her because she was always out and about. So that's how we knew something wasn't quite right. So that day, in the afternoon, my two friends and I went to the pub because they were, trying to cheer me up, and they were being nice, and they thought, we'll go to the pub and get some food before you have to go home. So I was sitting in the pub, and the two of them were talking amongst themselves, and all of a sudden I got like the strongest feeling of her being there. And also I got like a really strong smell of her fur, because when you like hug a cat or like hug a dog and you're like, oh, love you, you can kind of, they have a smell, hopefully not bad. But yeah, I got really strong smell of her fur, and it was like it kind of hit me in the face, and it went as quickly as it came. And in my head I just thought, oh no, like, does that mean she's gone? Is that her coming through, or did I just get a little sense of her? Not too sure. But when I got home, my mum told me that yeah, she had taken her in the afternoon, and yes, she did have to be put down. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. My cat is literally asleep here, and when cats fall deep asleep and they start twitching, that's what he's doing. And it's scaring me because he's balancing on the edge of the sofa. I'll just keep an eye on him, he's alright. It freaks me out when cats do that. When they fall deep asleep and then they start like twitching, and oh, it's freaky. Stop it. Anyway, so yes, that was the first thing that happened. So I'm just going to keep glancing in my notebook here. The second thing that happened was I was in bed one night, and I kind of got a feeling of her. Like, I had multiple dreams about her, that she was there, and I still do now on and off. I still dream that she's there, and I get to hug her and say bye. Even though I'd said my goodbyes to her, I still have little dreams where she's there and I'm really happy to see her, and then I know that it's just a dream, but I'm just happy to see her and stroke her again and give her a hug. Anyway, so I think I'd woken up from one of these dreams like shortly within a few weeks of her passing away, and I woke up. So I had a double bed, so I woke up, sat up, because I thought I heard a little noise, and I swear I saw a white tail, just the tip of the white tail, walk around the edge of my bed. Like, where my bed was, my bedroom door was on my right, and I always used to keep it open a crack, because I don't like sleeping in the pitch dark anyway. And from the double bed, because it was kind of tall, couldn't see the floor, so I saw this white tail kind of from the door kind of side and walk all the way around and then disappear, like at the left corner, like at the end of my bed on the left side. And I was just like watching it, like, what? And I kind of scrambled across the bed and was like looking around, and nowhere to be seen. So, because, we had other cats at the time, so I thought maybe it was another cat, and I was just imagining it was white. Because the other cats my mum has, or the only two she had at the time, they were orange. Like Ginger and no, only one of them had a little bit, or has, they're still here, has a little bit of white here, so they would have had like orange tails. So yeah, I'm not too sure if that happened only once or if it happened once or twice. I can't really remember, but that was strange because I was fully awake. It wasn't like I was kind of half dreaming. So I'd had a dream, woken up, sat up in my bed, and then after a little while saw the tail like walk around my bed. Really strange. Oh good, he's woken up. Sorry, just whoops. I keep an eye on my cats like when they fall asleep and they start twitching because it looks like they're having a fit and it scares me. I know it's natural though. So yes, so the second thing that happened after her death was I'd been with my boyfriend for about a year, and he had moved into a house with his two friends. So I always used to go around there and visit and like kind of clean the house for them because they all had full-time jobs. So I was there one day and I was in my boyfriend's room, and I'll just tell you quickly how it's set out. So if you go, if I remember rightly, this is so long ago, you go through the bedroom door, the door's on like the furthest side of the left. So you go in and then most of the room is like to your right kind of thing. So his he had a double bed over to like the far right next to a window. So I was sitting on the bed, on the edge of the bed, facing the window. So the door is like behind me, kind of on the right hand side but behind me. And I think I was flipping through a book or something. It was all really quiet. There was only Ben in the house. He was downstairs. And I felt what feels like a cat jumping on the bed behind me. And if you have cats, when they jump up on like the sofa or the bed, it's kind of a distinct kind of hop. So I felt something jump on the bed and then take a few steps towards me, like right behind me. And for a second, because, my parents have always had cats and, I'm used to them kind of being around, for a second I just thought, oh, it's a cat, and then I was like, realised where I was, and I was like, hey, wait a minute, because they didn't have any pets there. Because it was a rented house. They weren't allowed any pets. So I looked behind me and nothing was there. There wasn't any imprint on the duvet or anything like that. It was so weird. And I was like, trying to process it in my head. And I thought, Belle, maybe Belle's come to see me. So I went downstairs and told Ben, and he forgot to tell me like a couple of days before that happened to me, jumping on the bed, that his mum's cat had passed away due to really old age. Like this cat, I think her name was Tibby. She was ancient, like she was around when Ben was tiny, and she used to like sit in the pram with him when he was really small. So they both died around the same time. So I was like, okay, well that was, either one of them. It could have been Belle, it could have been Tibby. Not that those cats had any link to that house at all, but, I think it really matters where you have an experience. But yeah, so that was kind of cool. That never happened. That was only that one time. It never happened at home or anything, only seeing her little tail around my bed. So, yes, the third thing that was happening kind of a lot after she'd gone and then died down was the animals, so my parents' dog, who's just behind me, and we had two other cats. At the time, they're quite old now, but my parents have like a utility room where they have like the washing machine and like the freezer, and then the cats have like their beds up on the side, and that's where they like sleep and get fed, and where their cat flap is. So we can shut them so in the night they can come in and out whenever they want. We were in the night. We were like hearing, because Belle and another cat that my mum and dad still have now used to pick on the other one, because they have two cats now that are sisters. So Belle and one of the sisters used to gang up on the other one and like, not like attack her, but they'd like wind her up and just kind of like hiss and kind of smack her on the head, and which was kind of unfair. But you know, everyone in the house, like in the middle of the night, started hearing that. So I don't know if these two were just fighting against themselves, or I don't know if that's relevant. That's probably not paranormal at all. But there was a place that Belle used to always sit in the garden, and there was like a bit of a paving slab underneath the grass, and she used to sit in that one place so often that the grass kind of wore away, so there was a bit of like a paving slab, and it obviously used to like heat up, so she'd always sit on it. Like I have a picture upstairs in my room of her sitting in that particular space. So she'd always be there. So whenever, you know, the cats were outside or the dog was outside, because there's a balcony and then steps going down into the garden, because the garden's on a slope. So yeah, so the dog would be on the balcony, cats would be in the garden, and then they'd always be looking in that one spot that she used to sit in all the time. Especially the dog. He'd always be kind of looking, you know, when they can see something and their tail wags and they're like, ooh, kind of getting all excited. He used to do that all the time. And also my mum swears out the corner of her eye she saw Belle sitting on the steps that lead down to the garden. And as she saw in the corner of her eye and glanced, there wasn't anything there, but at the same time she saw her at the corner of her eye, the dog looked in that place as well and started kind of, not growling, but kind of like making little woofs, like he was excited. So my mum couldn't explain that. She told me, and I told her about, you know, having the dreams and seeing her tail and everything. So, you know, she obviously hung around. And there was one point as well that in the utility room, because her bed was higher up, because she liked kind of sitting and sleeping like quite high up. We still had her bed, like obviously washed it all and everything, but, you know, kept the bed because, you know, cats might want an extra bed. The cats would kind of stare. I don't know if they were staring just because they expected to see her or were reminded, but a few times my mum saw the cats kind of stare and then follow something, the same as she saw the dog kind of get all excited or just stare in one place. And like, you know, there was that time and another time as well that my mum saw out the corner of her eye in oh my god, I'm just looking out the window. Sorry, my cat is sitting in the long grass and I just saw another black tail walking through the long grass. No, there's more black cats. That's cool. So there's obviously a cat in the garden. I better not let the dog out, because he only likes our cats. Anyway, so yeah, you know, every time my mum saw something out the corner of her eye, the other animals would be kind of looking in that same general direction as well, like when she was sitting on the steps and when she was in her space in the garden. So that was happening quite a bit, and I was having the dreams loads. You know, it started off having dreams where I thought she was really back, and I got really emotional, like, oh my god, you're back, I'm so glad you're back, and like stroking her and hugging her and everything. And then they kind of got less frequent and kind of calmed down to the point where I thought, I know I'm dreaming, but you know, she's here and I'm just going to enjoy it. And then I thought, you know, she's obviously maybe coming to visit, coming to say hi, whatever, and then she's kind of passed on, you know. So I still have little dreams about her now, rarely. I do have dreams about pets I've had, like I have dreams all the time. I had one last night even about, I used to have 2 rats called Garth and Manny. I have pictures of them as well, like in frames. They were Dumbo rats, and I still dream that they're around. Like I dream that they're still in their cage, and I'm thinking, oh my god, you know, I haven't seen you in ages. Are you okay? Kind of to the rats. I don't know. It's weird, but I get really attached to animals anyway. So yeah, that's all the kind of paranormal things that have happened regarding my old cat. I still really miss her, still get sad talking about her, but you know, I do have pictures of her up and everything. I still always remember her. So yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at my notebook now, and I've still got loads of little stories written down I don't want to get into now, because as always, time is getting on. I keep trying to cut down my videos, but for some reason they keep going, like hitting 30 minutes because I just talk and talk. So yes, sorry. Thank you so much for watching if you made it the whole way through this video. I really appreciate any views. I'll be back soon. I'll probably be making more tomorrow about some paranormal stories that I've had in this house. So yeah, stay tuned if you want to. Subscribe if you're interested. I will link my Twitter and my Instagram accounts down below if you want to check them out. So again, thank you so much for watching. I'll be back soon. Bye everyone.